Free external relay.
In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
This explorator is blessed with multifunctionality. The machine god grants me insight.
I'm just gonna try a bunch of buttons at this point. Okay, this is wait, okay, what? That one says everything appears to be correct. Okay, let's follow the cable again then.
There will be no peace in my wake.
Operation successful.
Okay, it likes that. Do I just hit every button along the path of the red wire?
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
Unlock the safe.
The machine god grants me
The
insight.
safe unlocks with a grumbling rattle. Huh. Last time I thought I had finished this because I was messing with this puzzle and I got a whole bunch of XP. So I thought I finished it. So now I don't know why I got that XP. Demon Tool. Whenever the wearer deals warp damage, the damaged character also suffers burning. Burning effects inflicted by the wearer have their level increased by 0. Stub Carbine and a Hand Flamer. Okay,
You are in the
does this do warp damage?
House or Celio.
It doesn't say what type of damage it is.
Do you want something?
Navigator's warp damage? What about her? Does she do
Does
warp
something
damage?
trouble you, Lord Captain?
It doesn't say warp anywhere on it. Where does plus 5% damage? Where gains 5% critical hit chance to single shots and deadeye shots? Okay, and we leveled up from that. Let's see. Choose an ability. Let's see. Sworn enemy. Break through. Forceful strike. I think sworn enemy for a tank. Choose a talent. Swift movements. Let's see, anything? Yeah, down here. Let's see, each level of Psi rating provides the Psyker access to new psychic powers. It also strengthens damaging psychic powers. This doesn't actually say anywhere on it that it adds a level of Psi rating. Kind of messed up there. But yeah, we'll take that, I guess. Are all these int? I think so. Alright, she is gonna have high Medicaid, I guess. Tech use and logic is Pascal. Awareness is going to be her. Imperium, Xenos. I guess Xenos? Alright, let's see. Controlled shot. Dash. Let's get dash. See, awareness 40, athletics 30, Medicaid 35, Lore Imperium 35. This is Lore Imperium. If you get the opportunity to level up Psych or Minora's associated traits, you should always do that since they're necessary to unlock higher level Psych. I know, my previous playthrough I was a Psycher. But they just changed the name of some of the skills, and I was pointing out that they failed to add some stuff to the tooltip than they should. Against one's perception. Lost at the end of the target's turn. Use a heroic act against temporary wounds. Morning Mugger Chat. Hey, Blue Belt. Be vigilant. Allies under the effect of officer abilities gain bonus to weapon skill until the next turn. Whenever a heroic act is used in combat by any officer, no. Allies affected by officer abilities gain a bonus to all resistance tests equal to 12. Half of the bonus granted by voice of command remains till the end of combat. This bonus does not stack with itself or with bonuses granted by voice of command, but does count as an officer ability for purposes of other talents. Navigator gains 5 fellowship and an additional fellowship for every navigator talent or power taken. If your perception's higher than agility, your dodge is calculated with perception. Sure. Fellowship. Alright, Pascal. What do you got, Pascal? Let's see. At least they did not make it as bad as the old System Shock 2 devs. The Sonic Power deals damage to everything, even you in the area, when in fact the Sonic Power makes you completely immune to the type of damage it deals at the same time. What? For game with so many options while leveling, they're missing some tooltips. Yeah, there's a couple. The thing was, is in the past, that thing that Simon Norris or whatever, when I played the game at launch, it just said increase your psi rating, which was more clear than what it is now. But I haven't seen a lot of that, but that is a thing. If the operative has not moved this turn, they do +2 damage with single shot attacks for every 5 cells between them and the target and gain +3 ballistic skill. These bonuses do not stack and last until you move. Whenever the operative triggers an exploit on an enemy, the operative gains +1 damage and +2% armor pin until the end of combat. Only applies to the first strike or projectile in a burst of stacks. Okay, I like that because it could stack really high in long fights. 40, 35, 65, 65. So wait, does he have higher Medicaid than she does? Hang on. What's her Medicaid? 60? And what's his? 55. No, it's just up there. guess Lorzinos. And then her. Okay, this stuff. Available planes. Captive audience. Next attack inflicts bleeding on all targets hit. These targets must pass a toughness resistance test with a -22 penalty or become immobilized. Let's do captive audience. Okay, choose talent. Blade Dancer. Enemies attacked have reduced stats for 1 turn. Medicae is now determined by weapon skill instead of intelligence. Race against death. Weapon skill instead of intelligence. Weapon skill is 45. Int is 35. Her weapon skill is higher. Steady hand. Rising tempo. Each attack made by the Blade Dancer increases the damage of all subsequent attacks they make this turn by 5%. That could be good. Oh, did I ever get additional movement on her? I had wanted that. No, I did not. Let's get that now. Okay. Alright.
They will see. Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
All
Alright, finally
will
done with that.
see.
For real this time. Gonna have to figure out someone else to leave the party once we get the Arbites guy. Because, want to see the new story stuff for him. Like, Pascal is so good at opening, like, you know, it's skills checks, basically. And I haven't seen her story, so I want to keep her if I can. Navigator is just so stupidly strong. There's really no one else like her. Blood Dancer's new. So, I mean, Argenta's really good, but I guess
One
get rid of
step at
her
a
for somebody
time
else to try out more new
amidst the
stuff.
madness.
Okay, back to the starport. I think if we had taken out the gun before we got to the governor's office, there would have been a button at the governor's office to just go straight back to the ship, but I missed the gun, so I didn't have that button.
What lies beyond?
Let's see. An entire procession of cargo servitors was destroyed by gunfire. Not a single one of them attempted to flee. Yep, I remember that. I don't know why this isn't mapped out. This is where we met Pascal. Didn't I already go through? Hang on. Let's see what this is. Oh no, this is new.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
Explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
Okay, hang on. Let's see. We got some different armors here. 20% is 35, 20. 5% less armor, but 10% more parry against melee. Is she heretical? Yeah, she is. Dodge, 22. Do that. Okay. I dropped Argenta because I'm doing a shotgun RBD's playthrough and wanted the Xenos for long range.
Patience?
Yeah, I haven't done much with her either. Yeah, Argento was kind of my carry through my, my first playthrough. Just kept using officer abilities on her and she just killed everything. Ridge Technomat. Wait. Is there not a button to go back to my ship from here?
In this tapestry of a world,
Do I need to go all the way back to the mayor's office?
I am the rogue thread.
Hmm. Okay. Well, the only other way I know to get to the ship is to go back to the governor's office, and then I think there's a button there. Unfortunately, that means a couple more loading screens. Did you do the parade thing? No, we're not there yet. Let's see. Even with Eldar Tech, Argenta has a better build. There's even mods to fix the earliest build. It's that bad. I will say, from what I've seen, Argenta, I don't know if she still has it. The issue with her when I played the game at launch on hard mode was that she had a lot of talents that would just be like, oh, every time you do this, you gain +1 damage till the end of combat. Like, it was like infinitely stacking stuff. So it's like at the beginning of the combat, she could be hitting for 10 damage, but at the end of the combat, she might be like, you know, hitting for 10,000. And, you know, the final fight of the game, you're basically fighting a demigod. And, like, as she kept going, like, tap, 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 dead. And it was pretty silly. But yeah, it was just Operation Stay Alive till Argenta can one-shot the thing.
There will be no peace in my wake.
I had Argenta one-shot the final boss in hard mode. Yeah, I believe it. That's kind of what I just described. Okay, now can I go back to the ship? The upper right, no. What do I do? Inform the governor, okay. The anti-aircraft battery that was giving you so much trouble has been destroyed. That's excellent news, thank you for the assistance. The weapons the insurgents were using to shoot down shuttles over the city has been destroyed. Now nothing is preventing you from returning to your ship. If you wish to find Master Von Kalox, you should go to the Cenobium of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Notes of anxiety creep into the voice that rattles from Pascal's Vox. On behalf of the Priesthood of Mars, I, Magos Hanuman, am officially initiating my participation in this operation. I must inspect the state of the relic and assure myself that it is under zero risk of falling into heretic hands. According to the Catechism of Maintenance and Operation, my tech comrades were supposed to lock the monastery gates against lay people and activate the traps. I deem it optimal that an ordained Magos could provide his assistance. I categorically object, the governor clenches his fist. As much as I respect the sanctity of your monastery, I have on my hands a whole capital that needs to be attended by the Omnissiah's servants. We've lost many eminent tech priests. Incidentally, one of them perished in that same monastery. Mechanical failures could occur at any moment. Putting it bluntly, you may consider yourself forcibly recruited into the city's defense forces. Medina and Pascal glare at each other, their unyielding gazes like crossed swords. This Magos is part of my retinue. You have no right to give him orders. You mistake me for a fool. I know that he arrived separately from you, and I would bet my life that no... The governor's voice dies down in a low growl of a drilling mechadendrite. Its tip is directed straight at the bridge of his nose. Medna clears his throat and grumbles stubbornly. So this is the negotiation technique you've resorted to. Do you think this is the first time I've been threatened with a weapon? No, but this could be your last. Pascal's voice is akin to the sound produced by his drilling implement. Steady and calm, but ready to explode at a moment's notice with the crunching of bone and squelching of tearing flesh. I am heading to the monastery because I must. Is that clear? The governor mutters through gritted teeth. Abundantly so, Magos. Why are you so determined to get to the monastery? Is it just because of this relic? It is why I came to this world. I am expected there. It would be a pleasure to assist the Omnissiah's servant in reaching the sanctum. Thank you for your cooperation, your lordship. The drill stops. Dukem, thank you for the prime. Appreciate that. As compensation for your consideration of my request, I, Magos Hanuman, officially undertake to accompany you in the Rykad system in the role of bodyguard and to protect you at all costs from your life until your life functions cease, but only within the limits of the Rykad system. You're Hanuman. Glad you're alive. The governor raises his eyebrow and stares at the tech priest in surprise, but refrains from further commentary. What has perplexed you about my companion's name? The governor looks at Pascal with curiosity. According to the reports we've received, Logis Abel Hanuman set off for the hallowed electrodynamic cenobium a short while before it was stormed. I'm glad to find out you're safe. Perhaps you possess information on Master von Kalox. Pascal's vox rasps in confusion. My name is Pascal Hanuman, not Abel. I know nothing about such a person. Where can I get more information on this individual? I would have suggested you inspect the esteemed Logis' sanctum, but it was destroyed by the rebels. We recovered several data crypts and connected them to the cogitators at the command post. They might provide you with some information. It is amazing that a mechanical voice from a Vox can sound so confused. That name might have been used as a signal intelligible only to its intended recipient. In that case, its bearer might be Archmagos Amarnat, initiating an investigation and data collection procedure. Adira tenses up and listens, then turns around sharply to face Pascal. I can hear my friend's snide whispers through the door. Be careful on your search, Magos. If you stare into a shattered mirror for too long, you might see yourself in it, and in every shard at once. Mending it is that much more of a tainted affair than the new reflection is deathlike. The shattered mirror comment actually makes a little bit of sense now that I know Pascal's, like, ending. What do you know about this Abel, Governor? I've never met him in person. That esteemed Logis supervised the work of Rykad Minoris' Lex Mechanics for many years. However, he rarely left his cyber chapel, and I've never had the honor of making his acquaintance. A true anchorite. I see. Okay. The Arbites? Why are they here? Oh boy! What's up, fellas? This place is passing under the command of the Adeptus Arbites. The arbitrator marches forward relentlessly and halts one step away from the governor, looking down at him. Governor Medna, in the name of the Lex Imperialis, I, Proctor Solomorn Anthar, arrest you on suspicion of involvement in the theft of the shipment of the Imperial Tithe. Taking into account the state of emergency on this planet, I will permit you to retain your authority under my direct supervision. From this time forth, you will be given the Adeptus Arbites your full cooperation, in particular by transferring command of the strike groups and other resources to me. Medna, though deathly pale, proudly raises his chin. Arrest me? Transfer my resources? Your demands undermine my efforts to suppress the rebellion. Excuse me, Proctor, but this accusation of stealing the sacred tithe is simply... He stops talking under the arbitrator's oppressive, merciless gaze. Denying guilt only adds to the suspicions against you, Governor. Oh my god. Chat, did you know when you deny guilt, it just makes you more suspicious? Now let us go over everything one more time. The tithe was stolen from your world. You are culpable for this incident, whether you were personally involved or not. You will provide the resources I have requested without objection, as this measure serves to re-establish control over the planet. Comply or I will consider your refusal an obstruction of the investigation and take steps accordingly. It seems I am left with no other option than to obey your will. As his law-abiding servant, I honor the word of the Lex Imperialis. Medna shoots you a quick glance, unless his lordship has anything to say on the matter, that is. I would never think to oppose a servant of the law. The governor puts his hands behind his back, either to appear more confident or hide the tremor in his fingers. In that case, please accommodate yourself, Proctor. But before I give you the access codes, I must give a self-protracted, self-exonerating statement. There's no need. All information required of you will be obtained during questioning, without witnesses, be it your personal guard or the rogue trader. Just you, me, and Glato. The Cyber Mastiff lets out a heavy growl that sends a shiver down your spine. What is your plan, Proctor? Stop the heretics from taking over the starport and other locations critical to the investigation. At the same time, we will crush the heretics' resistance. Most of them are hiding among the commoners, and a series of concentrated strikes against the residential districts and infirmaries will send them running. That is when we'll finish off the rebel carrion. Blood of the throne! I will be governing over nothing but ruins and corpses by the time you're done. Have faith in my methods, Governor. I'm not going to depopulate your world. After all, it needs to be able to continue paying the tithe. Dogmatic. A sound plan, Proctor. Only harsh measures can restore order. Solomon gives a slight nod. Better to cut off the hand than to let the infection overtake the whole body. Why do you think the rebels are hiding among the civilians? They could have shelters elsewhere. I know this from a few intercepted Vox exchanges and a couple of scumbags we've interrogated. But first and foremost, I know from experience, such mutinous rabble always feed off its families and associates, who also provide a source of recruits to support its ranks. And of course, there is the heretics' contemptible habit of using the local population as a shield. We need to flush them out of their nests and starve them of resources. I wish you luck in your investigation, Proctor. Is that it? Okay.
Curiosity
Sings in my veins. There it is. Return to void ship. Alright, we got the button now. Voxmaster Vigdis. Permission to report, Lord Captain. Over the past few days, I've received several messages from different decks complaining about anomalous behaviors in the ship's cogitators and servitors. The machine spirits are restless and rebellious, and no tech litany or ritual of pacification can rid them of this obstinacy. The tech priests can deal with the vessel's systems, but the servitors, they make errors in their tasks, disobey orders, change the assigned rituals, or sometimes downright freeze as if in a trance. A click comes through the Vox channel, followed by a weary sigh. Lord Captain, occurrences such as these are caused by errors in cogitator calculations, or have some other sensible explanation. I beseech you not to take after those who whisper about the ship being cursed or possessed. Adira joins the channel and chimes in playfully. Oh, don't start, old man. All these peculiar happenings have long since turned into local legends. A door slams shut, a lumen starts flickering. Folks have grown used to all that, so our resident ghost has decided to up the ante. I'm telling you, things are only going to get worse from here. Vigdis. The Technomats inspected the servitors and concluded they posed no danger. According to the servants of the Omnissiah, such behavior is caused either by the echoes of minds not completely eliminated, or by manifestations of the machine spirit's will. Okay, let's pause here for a second. For any Warhammer New Bloods in the chat, a servitor is kind of like if you take a person and then you lobotomize them. So they're basically just like a mindless drone. They'll do what you ask. They're intelligent enough that you could say, hey, you know, go fix that pipe. And they'll go fix that pipe. And then they're usually given, like, mechanical arms and legs, so they're really strong, they can lift heavy boxes, and they become servants. So when she says echoes of the minds not completely eliminated, that would imply that they might remember who they were before they were turned into a Roomba, essentially, which would be awful. That would be incredibly awful. There was apparently a thing in Warhammer 40k at some point in the past, I don't know a lot about, where there was an AI uprising, and humanity barely put it down. And so they do not trust AI. So anything that you think is a computer, there's a brain in there somewhere. Because, yeah, and there's no, like, internet now. It's not all connected. It's brains. Nevertheless, the faulty servitor makes the crew's task considerably more difficult. In High Factotum Generis, Danrock would like to discuss how he should deal with the defective property.